Hello, hello, and welcome to today's Unleashing the Power of Women Voices event by Women Thrive. My name is Rhonda Jan, and I will be your host for today's event featuring 12 incredible speakers from all around the world. I invite you today to go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're watching us from. And also, if you have been our follower or you have been to any of our past events before, or this may be the first time you're catching this event live. Now, I am so excited for you to meet our incredible speakers. These amazing women have been with us for nearly an entire year, going through behind the scenes of preparing their talks, getting ready for this amazing stage, doing collaborations, and they're here to truly make an impact. Now, today is all about giving you a real taster, a snippet of what you can expect at the Women Thrive Summit in March. Now, if you may not be aware, every single year, third week of March, we host the annual Women Thrive Summit, which is our incredible women's empowerment event. And we have speakers on various topics from business, mindset, growth, health, and wellness to something a bit more spiritual. And maybe you're into energetics and other things. So make sure that as you tap into today's talks, if there is someone that you feel really connected to, drop them a message, connect with them on social media, and make sure you check out their talks at Women Thrive Summit. It's open for all and it's a free event. So what's not to miss out other than networking, other opportunities, learning and growth, and so many other amazing things. Well, I see my speakers lining up in a green room. So I want to ask you again, leave a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. And if this is your first time watching, you're in for an absolute treat. We have 2 hours event for 11 or 12 speakers lined up for today. And I know that they all have a powerful message for you. Now, when we started, we do this event both in the morning and evening to suit our various audiences. And when we started this event in the morning, it was really amazing to see our speakers lining up, but also to be reminded of the power of women coming together, the power of women having a voice. I know in today's society, things are changing quite rapidly, and women are being taken their voices away. A lot of things, a lot of rights are being rolled back for women. And I think it's more important than ever for us to have a voice, to have a mission, and be in Women's Collective where we support each other, where we see each other and understand each other. But more than that, creating a safe and supportive environment for all of us to grow and flourish. Now, Women Thrive was founded in 2020 during the course of pandemic. And this was our opportunity to bring people together from all around the world to make an impact. And ever since that year, we made it our absolute commitment to keep coming back every year for Women's History Month in March to celebrate women's strength, courage, and also our growth, our collective growth. And therefore, we host our annual event that happens every March. I am so thrilled to see so many amazing people joining us and also seeing you all in the audience. So do make sure you introduce yourself, leave a comment, let us know where you're watching from. And also, if you are here to support someone, maybe you're here to support someone, let us know that you're here for them. Now, I am so excited to see who we have coming up next. Are you excited? Let us know in the chat. Now, I want to introduce my first speaker, who is here to share her voice and her message on our stage. The first speaker up is Karen Sarmento, who is a dynamic success strategist for high-achieving women who are ready to define success on their own terms. Hi, Karen. How are you? Where are you joining from?
Hello, Rhonda. I am fantastic. I am joining you from Massachusetts in the United States.
Great. How are you feeling about your talk today?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored to be here, and I can't wait.
Love it. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to hear your talk. So, Karen actually specializes in guiding accomplished women who, despite their own outward success, maybe they feel confined by others' expectations and disconnected from their true purpose. So, she helps them transform from feeling unfulfilled to feeling with confidence, clarity, and renewed sense of purpose. I think we all need a little bit more purpose and a reminder of why we do what we do. Karen, I am so thrilled to hear your talk today. Go ahead and get us started.
Okay, I'm excited. I get to kick off this amazing group of women that everybody's going to hear from. So my talk at the summit is titled "Success Redefined." Um, I have checked all the boxes, yet I'm still unhappy, and it's so much more than the title suggests. Really, what it's about is the unspoken truth that we walk through life checking boxes, and we do what society expects us to do. And particularly as women, we tend to fall into the trap of doing, and making sure everyone else is taken care of, and that we do what's expected of us even at the cost of our own happiness, our own health, and just our overall well being. So, what you can expect from my talk, and I'm going to take you through some of the highlights right now, but I really want women to tune into starting with where you are right now. So, an awareness of what you're doing in your life right now. What are the things that light you up? If there's even any things anymore, because at one point in my life, things were so dark. If you had asked me, and somebody did ask me, what do you like to do? And I didn't know. I didn't know anymore. So, one of the first things I help women do is figure out where you are right now, kind of shine that light on your life. What are the things that light you up? And what are the things that really drain you? Because when you start to identify these facets of your life, you can then actually acknowledge it and then make a change, make a decision to make a change. And from there, I encourage women to allow yourself to dream again, to imagine. Our imagination is one of our most powerful tools, and it's oftentimes been shut off since we were young. We were told to step back into reality or stop, get out of the dream world, get out of dreamland, come back to reality. But I encourage women to dream and dream big and to imagine big, because what you're thinking about is what you're creating in your world. So when it's small and full of doubt and it's dark and it's not optimistic, that's what you bring more of into your world. So the next thing that I have you do is really start setting some goals, because as you start to set goals, your subconscious mind automatically starts moving you in those directions, because your thoughts create your reality. And in my talk, I will go much deeper into this with the science backed processes that really explain why this is true. But for today, just trust me, your thoughts are creating your reality. So you really want to be careful and really want to curate your thoughts. Um, and then from there, we really start to redefine who we need to be to create those actual results in our life. And we will, during my talk, create the version of yourself with the goals achieved. And honestly, from there, you're going to become that. It's the it's not just acting as if, it's more than that, and it's deeper than that. It's actually becoming that, being that. Because in actuality, if you're always becoming something, you're never it. You're never it. So you're always just becoming something. So we actually go through a process, and then you're just going to try it on, because when you start to show up differently, you create different in your world. You attract different people, places, and opportunities. And that's what I want for every woman that attends my talk. I want you to leave there with a new kind of a flame inside that gets reignited, because the possibilities are limitless, they're endless, and we were not put here to play small. And life experiences sometimes teach us otherwise, or they make us feel otherwise. And no matter what you've gone through and no matter where you are, I want you to see and feel and know with every ounce of your being that there's more to it. And that if you feel like you're meant for more, you are. Any little thought you're getting is meant for you. And those thoughts are meant to be heard. And I always say, embrace the whisper, because when you actually listen to that inner voice, which we've learned to quiet down and ignore over time, we've been taught to play small, don't shine too bright. And I want to teach you the exact opposite of that, to embrace your light, to shine bright, because when you do that, you allow others to do the same. So I cannot wait for the summit. You are going to meet me and so many other powerful speakers, and it is just going to change your world, because being in the company of all these women has even changed my world, and it's just going to be amazing. So I can't wait for the summit.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Such a way to kick us off, really, just a reminder, subtle reminder that look, life will whisper things to you, and be guided by your intuition, by your internal compass. I always say that I love to be guided by my internal compass. If it feels right, it is right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What lights you up in the day-to-day life now?
Oh gosh, the things that light me up are, they just come out of nowhere, but now I've learned to be so present in my life and just embrace every moment and everything that comes at me. I really kind of make the best out of the big and small stuff. Family, friends, being in good company lights me up for sure. But it's just anything I'm doing. I try to be present in it and really enjoy whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I think so important. And we are going to be seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit. What's your talk going to be about?
My talk is titled Success Redefined. I've checked all the boxes, so why am I still so empty?
I think at some stage in our lives, sometimes we just feel like we need to have that little check-in, right?
Mm-hmm. And we feel like we've got everything. We've checked off the boxes, and this was the case for me. But I had the career, I had the family, I had so much. Unfortunately, it took a really dark experience for me to recognize that I had it all.
Yeah.
And it's life comes at you, and we just have opportunities to keep moving forward and always growing from the
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah. I'm just saying a beautiful support for you in the chat. I always love when Karen speaks. She's so beautifully authentic. And I guess it just comes from your life experiences, because I know you have had to personally go through the trenches of ups and downs. And, I think life humbles us, isn't it, at some stage? And you really start to connect to your deeper purpose and your why.
Oh, it does. It humbles us. And I feel like for so long, I let my life experiences humble me to the point that I felt small for a very
Mm,
long time. And I want other women to realize, no matter what you're going through and no matter how small you might feel at the moment, there's a way out, and to come back to your light.
yeah, absolutely. Karen, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for kicking us off today. And we look forward to seeing you at the summit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Oh, this was a wonderful way to kick us off. How are you enjoying our showcase so far? Let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're joining from. I see quite a few watching us on the various platforms. We are streaming this to various platforms. Let us know where you're watching from. Right on next. And I think today's theme will be interesting. I can just already see it, but let's see it it all evolve and unravel in front of us. So my next lovely speaker is Marcy Beliaski. Hi, Marcy. Let's bring you up on stage. So Marcy B, because we do have Marcy H as well. Hi, Marcy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I love your colors. I think today we're just popping some colors, right?
I felt festive today.
I love that. Well, I want to introduce my next speaker, who is Marcy Beliaski. She is the author of four book romance thriller collections titled The Vengeance Series. Book one, Deception and Consequences, went number one in its genre just 11 days after publication and went on to win the Literary Titan Awards and the Publisher's Choice Award. That's so amazing, Marcy. And since then, two more books in the collection have been published, with the final title arriving just before the end of 2024. So Marcy writes books and does some other incredible things that she is going to share with you today. How are you feeling, Marcy? Congratulations on all your amazing authorship success.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel great. I have another book coming out this spring. It's a standalone, and I'm really excited about it. I'm working really hard on it right now, and it's an author's life, and I love it.
Oh, amazing. Well, look, I want to hand over the mic over to you, and I'll be back at the end to chit chat.
Well, I'm a writer, of course, and I have always seen writing as something, it's not a job or a pastime, it's a passion that people are born with. And once you make passion your job, then it becomes maybe work, right? I started writing stories and sketching scenes when I was in grade school. And by the time I was in high school, I knew I wanted to be a writer, but I also wanted to be a teacher. And my wise school counselor, who happened to also be my dad, told me that I needed a job like teaching to fund the dream. And he was right, because being an English teacher taught me a lot about being a writer. So I became an English teacher, and my dream became a hobby for 36 years. But it never left my heart because it was my passion. And when I retired, I thought my dream was just around the corner. It was, time to make my passion my job, and I wanted to be a full-time writer. But I struggled with the details because now I had the time, but a whole flood of other roadblocks seemed to appear. And looking back, I realized that those roadblocks, I created those roadblocks for myself because of fear. But after a while, I realized that it was because I didn't effectively plan. I hadn't planned well for living my dream. And imagine that. I had 36 years to get it right, and I still didn't have a plan. So anyway, I realized that the first thing I had to do was hone in on my dream and define it specifically, because you can't go after something if you don't clearly know what it is. And when I really asked myself to define my big dream, I realized that I didn't just want to write a few things and get published. I wanted to be a successful romance suspense author with several titles. I wanted to be prolific. I wanted to be known. And so once I defined that dream, it became more difficult to achieve, obviously. And when my first book manuscript, was finished, I experienced failure and rejection over and over again. And I wondered why my big dream had to be so incredibly soul crushing. And I'm like, is this what I really signed up for? Is this what I really want to do? But it was my passion, and I knew it was my passion. And so I stuck with it. And a lesson I learned that I'm happy to pass along is that a big dream may take a lifetime. It may take several chances. It may take a lot of failure. But if you're willing to stick with it, it is your big dream, and it's meant to be, and it will happen. Even if it becomes so frustrating that you want to quit, don't quit. And let me tell you, doubt will get you. If you start doubting yourself, it's never going to happen. And I learned that kind of the hard way from experience. You're going to have enough doubters. You don't want to send out an invitation by being a doubter yourself. You have to convince people that your purpose is valid, and you can't defend your dream If you have to defend your dream, or no one else is going to put stock in it. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it. And you won't get any support. And there's almost, I mean, it's certain failure, really. So it's true that defeat and roadblocks and all out failure, they can all take their toll. And the negativity they generate is contagious. And other people will sense your doubt and they'll become a doubter as well. As I indicated earlier, I know a little bit about failure. And after constant rejection of my manuscript, my confidence was at an all-time low. But then I remembered my father's favorite piece of motivational advice. You are who you think you are. And that's when I remembered my dream is my responsibility. My success, and it depended on changing my mindset. I was responsible for that. And when I decided I wanted my dream more than anything, more than any setback, I pushed through it. I just needed to pivot. And I realized that. And my outlook on everything began to change. I stopped questioning my purpose and I started defending it. And when I realized that I was worth the aggravation, the time, the money, the sacrifice, my approach to my dream changed. And because my mindset grew positive, so did the attitudes of my doubters. I remember my interview with my publisher before she was my publisher, and she'd asked me what I wanted out of a book deal. And I didn't hesitate when I said, I want it all. That wasn't hard for me to say that. And it was like something went off in my head. And now I had to prove to her that I wanted it that much, that I would work that much. My confidence paid off that day because I got a 4-book deal. And I couldn't have done it without believing in myself enough to give her the pitch that won her over. And I had to dismiss all the doubt and the past failures and believe in myself so she would believe in me. With a 4-book series published and my first standalone novel coming out this spring, now I make statements about my goals rather than ask questions. I don't doubt my success. I create it by telling myself and by proving to everyone else that I will be a successful romance suspense author because I've sacrificed and I've gained a focus and I've learned that I'm worthy. So what's the takeaway here? Your success is your responsibility. You are 100% responsible for you. And what happens from there all begins with your mindset. It's how you come at your dreams that matters. Stop doubting, stop chasing, and go catch your dream. You are who you think you are.
Marcy, not only an author, you're a fantastic speaker. Can I just say that?
Oh, well, I tell you, I had some trouble getting started, so I wasn't sure I was starting yet. So my introduction just went, but anyway, I probably shouldn't divulge that. But anyway, I got through it.
That's absolutely fine. It was amazing. And, life isn't perfect. And
Right.
so it's not how you begin, it's how you go end that journey. And this was just everything on display. You started out in something that wasn't really rocking your boat, and took those life lessons and what your father said, that look, it's what you make out of it, right? And then just really going after your dreams. I always say that entrepreneurs, and I know you're an author, but I also consider you being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are dream sellers. We sell that dream. And if, as you say, if you can convince other people how badly you want it and how much you're willing to go all in, all of a sudden people start to believe in it and things start to happen.
Right. And I mean, I really believe that because here lately, things have just been downloading for me. And I understand that it is my energy. I've put forth a lot more energy here lately. And I think it just resonates with people. And that just goes with my talk, that you can't have people buy into you if you're not buying into yourself, So I'm buying into myself these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It shows. It really truly shows, not only from your accomplishment successes, but also in just your energy and the way you show up. You seem to be happy. And I know last year you also left your teaching job to pursue authorship full time.
Yeah. Yeah. That was difficult, but it was time. It was time.
Amazing. That is fantastic. You have a lot of support in the chat from our fellow speakers and other listeners. So, congratulations. This was a great talk. And thank you so much for this powerful reminder to just believe in ourselves and go for everything that we want and deserve in this life. Thank you. This was Marcy Belyaski. So make sure you check out her book, romance thrillers, called The Vengeance Series. I am so excited to invite another Marcy to the stage, who is going to be sharing a little bit about her story and also overcoming adversities, coming through to the other side. Now, Marcy Hopkins, who is my next speaker, is an award-winning TV host, a creator, executive producer, author, motivational speaker, and mindset expert. Hi, Marcy. How are you? Where are you joining us from?
Hello, hello. I'm actually in Delray, Florida right now.
Amazing. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm telling you, the first two speakers were so powerful. And there is just so much motivation and inspiration with all of these women. And so thank you for bringing us all together.
I'm excited. Well, I did get to actually hug you in person very recently, and that was amazing.
It's so wild to think you're on the other side of the world and we actually got to embrace and meet in person.
Yeah, it was so special. I remember I did not want it to end. It was our last dinner after an event that we held in Florida, and I was just watching all of our amazing guests. I was like, please don't bring the next meal because I'm not ready for this to be over.
I know. I was so sad to leave that dinner.
But Marcy, we still get to hang out and do some magical things together. So just to continue with a bit more about Marcy. So Marcy is actually a driving force behind the highly acclaimed talk show Wake Up with Marcy, and now a brand new podcast that she is launching, I know, this month, which is very, very exciting. Marcy is also a 3-time Telly Award winner and Silver Anthem Award winner. She is a published author and an International Impact Awardee for book and for addiction and recovery, Chaos to Clarity, Seeing the Science and Breaking the Cycles, ranking as the #1 new release on Amazon for 12-step recovery, and a best-selling author with the Women Thrive Cool Book Project, which I'm super, super proud. Your story is truly phenomenal, and I hope we get to touch many more lives with it. Mm-hmm. Marcy, I could sit here and talk to you, but I won't take the stage in limelight. This is your stage, so over to you, and I'll be back to have a chat at the end.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you all. Just spending this time with you is incredible. And my talk is Love Yourself First, a journey of forgiveness and gratitude. And this has been a really, really powerful journey for me that's been going on for about 10 years. And I want to talk about love and the 3 words, I love you. I mean, we use those words so frequently. We're saying to our family, our friends, and even to people that we barely know. But the one person we don't say it to most often is ourselves. Imagine standing in front of the mirror, looking into your eyes and saying, I love you. For so many of us, especially women, we are taught to put others first. Society teaches us that thinking of ourselves is selfish. We wear so many hats, being a mother, wife, partner, friend, daughter, employee, entrepreneur, and so on and so on. We give and we give. And we're always seeking external validations to determine our worth. We try to be everything to everybody and no one to ourselves. And that's what I want to help us all change. It wasn't till I was 47 years old that I finally could look in the mirror and say, I love you. I had to put my oxygen mask on first so I could be the best version of myself, not just for others, but for me. And there's a quote that I absolutely love and has so resonated with me. And that is by Lucille Ball. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. Imagine that. It is those words that became my truth. It was those words that transformed my life. It wasn't until October 4th, 2015. I woke up, I was defeated, hungover, and filled with shame. I myself had built so many walls around myself, protecting myself from my past trauma, the abandonment, the abuse, my sexual abuse, my alcoholic parents. But instead of protecting me, those became my walls, my prison. And I realized I couldn't pretend anymore. And I know so many of us out there do the same. I was numbing my pain with alcohol. Maybe for you, it's food. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's working too much. Maybe it's just sugar. We all have something that we are trying to numb our pain with, masking our insecurities and our self-loathing. And that morning I had made a choice. I had to make a change. And it was with every ounce of courage that I had left inside of me that I walked down the stairs. I sat down on the couch and I looked at my husband in the eyes, tears. And I said, I needed help. And he embraced me. He actually embraced me instead of running away. And it was the first time that I felt true love, that I felt safe, that I felt like the weight of the world had come off my shoulders. And I didn't have to pretend anymore. I no longer had to be everything to everyone. For the first time, I allowed myself to be vulnerable and think of myself. I put down that drink and I started my healing journey. But sobriety wasn't just about quitting alcohol. It was about learning to love myself, changing everything in my world, rebuilding my self-esteem, my self-worth, and my self-care. And I learned that through 3 powerful lessons. And I'm going to talk so much about this in our talk, but I'll just touch on it briefly here. And the first is the power of self-forgiveness, forgiving myself for past mistakes, acknowledging them, taking responsibility, releasing the shame. It is only ourselves that we can change, and that creates the change in our lives. Secondly is the power of gratitude. This one is absolutely incredibly powerful, and there's so much science behind this one. And it's simple, but yet so hard. It's something you have to do every day, finding something you're grateful in a time of difficulty or a time of happiness. That's when it's the easiest. But we go through the muck and we've got to find the things that we are grateful for during those difficult times. Maybe it's a cup of coffee, the warmth of your bed, the sun on your face. We shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, and that leads to joy in our lives. And then the power of boundaries and positive energy. I mean, truly, we are able to create the boundaries, vocalize what we need when we love ourselves, and making sure that the people that surround us, that we keep in our company, uplift us, support us. Remember, we need to say no to the things that do not serve us, that drain us. Do the things that nourish your soul. The truth is, happiness begins from within. Everything you need is within. Today, I can proudly say I'm 9.5 years sober. I wholeheartedly love myself unapologetically. As Ramonda loves to say, unapologetically, I love myself. I'm the best version of myself. And in turn, I'm the best version for other people. Today, I put my oxygen mask on first. And because of that, I live in peace, joy, and fulfillment. So let me leave you with this. I want to challenge each of you to look in the mirror, look in your eyes and say, I love you. It may feel strange at first, but self-love is the foundation of everything else in life. Remember this. I'm going to remind you what Lucille Ball said. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. I am so excited to continue this conversation with you, dive deeper into self-love, what that means, how we can do it at the Women's Thrive Summit 2025 happening March 17th through the 21st. I'm going to be sharing more details, practical exercises, and powerful strategies to help you to begin your journey of transformation, your journey to self-love. I hope you'll join me. Explore how you can let go of shame, embrace forgiveness, and step into the most confident, fulfilled version of yourself. Thank you all, and I can't wait to see you there.
Congratulations, Marcy. It was so beautiful, beautiful reminder to just really put your own oxygen mask on first, take care of yourself, and then that's so true. Life falls into place once you put yourself first. Especially for us as women, we are so conditioned and so good at being everything for everybody else before we something for our own selves, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's been a life of being taught that from a little girl, right? Taking care of everybody else. And always, like, it's not kind. Being kind of yourself is like a selfish act, and it's not. It's a beautiful act.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful talk that you delivered today. I'm really looking forward to your talk at the Women Thrive Summit in March, Marcy. Tell us more about your new podcast launching.
It launched today.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Today, it is called Wake Up with Marcy. I have kept with the name, a deep dive into self-discovery. And today I shared about my why I started the podcast, why I relinquished my talk show that I put 7 years of my life into. And it was a hard decision, but that's kind of the basis is life transitions, how we can get through those, right?
Yeah.
Parenting tips, how we can be the best versions of ourselves, and really bringing to light the conversations around mental health. So I'm just so excited to have powerful guests that can create change in our lives and allow us to dive deep and look into ourselves so we can wake up to the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations. And I know you spent, was it 7 years on TV before this? 11, did you say?
Seven.
Yeah, I was going to say 7. That's just amazing. Going from, being on TV and now just doing your own thing, which is exciting new journey. And again, just owning your own stuff and just creating impact in whichever way that suits you, and it gives you a lot more freedom to do the things that you love doing.
I feel like it's going to feed my soul and only open the door to more. So I'm very excited. So thank you. Please, everyone, listen, watch.
Yes, so Wake Up with Marcy. Well, I love tapping into your social media lives that you do and just watching some of the guests that you have on. You always have amazing people on there. Marcy, thank you so much. And I want to warmly invite our audience to also follow you and connect with you on social media or visit your website to find out more. Thank you so much, Marcy. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And of course, if you want to read more about Marcy's story, she does have her own book and also is part of the volume 4, the best-selling Women Thrive book. If you have a copy, if you haven't got a copy, make sure you grab yourself a copy. And if you have already, make sure to leave a review on Amazon. Greatly appreciate your support. Now, my next speaker, we hopping around the states from Florida to New York City. This girl is your best friend, the girlfriend next door. I love her. I love hanging out with her. I love her energy, and I think you are too. My next speaker is Carol Podell. Hello, Carol. Let's get you up on stage. I see you doing that live behind the scenes.
Not alive, can't hurt. We want to get all the people, we want to get our message out as much as humanly possible. And I have mine, so go get it. Make sure you
Thank
get it. It's
you.
fantastic, okay? You got to go get it. So go to
Oh.
Amazon, Women Thrive Volume 4.
That's what I mean. You're like the best friends that everybody wants to have.
I want to have your back. Like, I am blessed with people who truly have my back. And I love also having other people's backs. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's important. It gives me purpose.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a badass, Carol.
I try.
On top
I
of that,
try.
you hardly need to try. So, okay, let's kick it off. Carol Podell is a host of podcasts. She takes the lead. She's a motivational speaker, fertility warrior, and a very proud single mom by choice. Carol is a no BS coach and mentor, helping ambitious working moms navigate major life transitions and show them how to confidently write their next chapter with intention, joy, and in a way that honors who they truly are. And the reason why I say you're such a badass, because you just made some life choices that you're like, look, I got this. And I think there's a lot of women that should really aspire to that, to have that sort of courage to say that to life.
Thank you. You know, the funny thing is that I'm not special. And that's the part that I mean, my mom thinks I'm special, and my dad thinks I'm special, and my daughter thinks I'm special. But the truth is, the things that take you through the world, it's not about being special. It's about one foot in front of the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Carol, over to you. I'll be back to chit chat at the end.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Raymonda. I love this. I love Women Thrive. It's just this fantastic group of women. And I love these showcases. They just bring out so much wisdom, and it's like mindset meets movement, you know, and not just physical movement, like mental movement and actionable ideas. And it's so critical. You know, I go by the position that a decision is not a decision until it's turned into action. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what my talk for the Women Thrive Summit is really going to be about. It's the Rebel Queen's Playbook, and it's 5 steps from stuck to unstoppable. And I titled it that because, listen, I was not born a rebel. I was actually the good girl. I still kind of am, frankly. I'm not the rebel. I'm the one I was the good girl. I was the one that you wanted to marry, not the other one, air quote. You know, I was the best friend, never the girlfriend, all of those things. And, you know, I had a big life moment at 34 when I had spent 14 years pursuing a career that I thought I loved, you know, a career, ironically, that you really need to be devoted to love. I was a Emmy and Peabody award-winning television producer and associate director. I was married to the man I thought was the love of my life. And I assumed that my family was going to get built. And I wasn't getting pregnant. And at some point he said he didn't want to have kids. And it crushed me. But the marriage ended, as it should. And good for him for saying that. But it crushed me. And all of a sudden, in an instant, I accepted it. I said, okay, I want a baby. If I can't get a baby from him, if that's not going to happen, it was the first moment of my life where I truly, truly knew what I wanted, which was I wanted a family. That is one of my values, is family. It always has been, for better or worse, not always convenient. And I knew at that moment that was my focus. That was what I needed. Not that I didn't need a lot of other things don't get me wrong. I am a highly ambitious woman. I'm social. I think they call it an ambivert. I'm introverted and extroverted. I'm a lot of things, you know, but this one thing was my choice. It was a choice that was entirely about me. It wasn't about what my ex-husband wanted. It wasn't about what my parents wanted, my friends wanted, or what they thought. And I had lived a life up until then that really most of my decisions were based on what other people thought. And it kept me in paralysis to a severe degree. And that one moment pushed me into a place of movement, of choice, of understanding the feeling of choosing something that is entirely my own without judgment that I'm taking in from anybody else. And most importantly, without judgment of myself. And that is the most baller thing I've ever done. It's the most rebellious thing I've ever done. And it set me free. And that is what I want you to have. Now, I know a lot of amazing women, and we are all rebel queens already. And even if you don't feel like a rebel queen, a feeling is not a fact. You are a rebel queen. Being a woman on this planet in 2025 makes you a rebel queen. The thing is, if you're a rebel queen and you're stuck because you're taking care of your spouse and your family and your job and your boss and your direct reports, you know what I mean? You are serving everybody else. And that feels great. That I love taking care of people. I enjoy it tremendously. It gives me a really good sense of satisfaction. But I also need to take care of myself. And it is, as Marcy said, about your putting your oxygen mask on. But to take it further, we need to know what we want before we can figure out how we get there. And that's what I do. If you're in the middle of, we spend so much time with desires and ambitions, and we want to do something that's meaningful and that's helpful and that gives back and that fills us. And that changes over the years, and it's supposed to. The problem is, if you're doing all of that for everybody else, there's no time or forethought around doing it for yourself. And that's what's keeping you stuck. It's not that you don't know how to move forward. It's not that you don't know how to take care of things. It's not that you don't know how to do a to-do list. It's not that you don't know how to check it off. We know this. I know you know this. We all know this. The major key is, what do you want? Because once you know what you want, not what your family wants or needs that you can then figure out that you like and figure out how to get it, but what do you want? And then maybe, how does that help support my family? I mean, we do still have to pay bills and live our lives. We want to live our dreams, but we also have to live our lives. So my playbook is what I'm speaking about at the Women Thrive Summit on March 17th from 12 to 1. And it is the playbook to the Rebel Queen, because we all need the playbook. We all need to know the strategic questions and methods to get to where we want. It will take you from being stuck to unstoppable. Because I will tell you, since that moment when my ex-husband told me he didn't want a child, I have a beautiful 6-year-old daughter who I raised myself. I dated half of Manhattan. I have run a marathon. I changed my career from being in television, a very sexy world, to working in finance in a multi-billion-dollar industry. I do what I want. Not because I'm special, but because I understand that I am entitled to do it, and I have the playbook on how. And that is what I want to share with you today. And that is what I'm so grateful for, this platform and this group of incredible women want to do. We want to empower you. So don't forget, from March 17th to March 22nd, please tune in. It's going to be punk rock. I promise.
I love it. There were so many beautiful takeaways, and just you rock, Carol. You rock. I mean, like I said, we're just gonna hang out more
Yeah.
often in ritual spaces.
Literal, yes.
It's so much fun. Look, and I think, yeah, every woman really needs that reminder that you don't need to be special. You don't need to be somebody to just take life in your own hands. And you said something like, if you're a woman, just by the fact you're a woman, you're a badass, just in today's terms.
Mhm. True.
Explain a
sure.
little bit more on that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we are women, we don't get paid the same amount of money. I mean, we can just start there, frankly. We don't
Yeah.
get paid the same amount of money. But the truth is, it's not even about that. Our bodies, even if we don't want to have a baby, are designed to have a baby, right? Our bodies, our periods, our perimenopause, it is in constant state of challenging us and making us reevaluate, of being in the present moment. We also then can feed the babies, right? And we take care of the babies. And sometimes the babies are our spouse, and that's fine too. But we are capable of being able to do all of this. We are the most amazing multitaskers. And I'll tell you, women's brains, there is when you have a baby, and I'm not saying that this is only for women that have babies, but I will tell you hormonally, because I've done the footwork, hormonally, your body changes, your brain synapse change after you have a baby, because you have to suddenly become more strategic and less detailed. I mean, and we get brain fog, and we get all of these things that create stop gaps for us to have to reevaluate what we are doing. And forgive me, I'm going to curse. I know it's, sometimes frowned upon, but it's fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
But we still do it. We move through it. We thrive. We move through. We look for people. We find our tribe. We work. We find relationships. We excel. That's as rebellious as you can get. Like that's the rebel. That's the rebellion. The rebellion. I mean, I'm just preaching other people's terms. The rebellion is us. We are the rebellion.
Look, you're a testament to just so many women who you had a child on your own by choice, but then there are other women who are become in that situation where they have to raise children on their own, and it's not necessarily by choice, which is heartbreaking. But you're so right, we are so capable. We don't have the same conditions. We fighting a much bigger battle. We always having to fight the glass ceiling. We always have to prove ourselves, our worth, and yet we've been silenced. We've been told we're not good enough. We like this, we like that, and yeah, we're still here. We still manage to be single moms and still make a living and still survive and still feed our children. It's phenomenal in what we can achieve, and I think it's about time not only women are being given credit but recognized for being a badass. And I love that when you come on stage, you just speak your truth, and I think it resonates with a lot of women, to be honest.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's that you find like a mother if their child is under the car, they suddenly are able to lift a car. That's not because it's not necessarily even your child. A woman could do that for any child, is the truth. And that is the level of power of any woman.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whew, Carol, love seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit in March. You're kicking us on day 1, which I'm very excited about.
I am so excited.
I think we already know what to expect. How do people connect with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking. Please join me at, I'm on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Carol Podell. You can also get me on my website at www.carolpodell.com. And I have a podcast called She Takes the Lead, because that's what we do. And you can find that on Spotify, on anywhere where you get your podcasts. And now we are also on YouTube. So we have video on YouTube. I'm very, very excited. And in fact, today, Raymonda is my very special guest. So go check it out. It's She Takes the Lead podcast on YouTube.
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to watch a replay of that. It's been a busy day, but thank you so much for having me on your podcast and just being here to share your voice and inspire our audience today. And we look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit in March.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Love to see you. Wow, so many amazing speakers. Look, if you are here, you're watching this live, leave a comment below, give off our speakers their flowers. I know we're streaming to so many different platforms, so you might be watching this on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Tap in, let us know where in the world you're watching us from. I'm excited to invite my next speaker, who is outstanding speaker, and she has such a big heart, and I've had a great pleasure of getting to know her over the last few months, probably nearly a year. I love this woman because she is another lady who will tell you to, hey, it's about time to remove that crap and level up. Kathy Baldwin, welcome to the stage, who is an author, a speaker, and a host of Unlearn the Crap and Up, Level Up Your Soul is Calling TV show. And she's an expert in personal empowerment through self-knowledge and self-healing. Kathy, how you doing?
I gotta say, Raymonda, I'm a little emotional after all these amazing speakers. That is the power of what you have done with bringing Women Thrive together. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Hey, we're going to have to take a photo together. Look, I'm so excited for your talk coming up at Women Thrive Summit. And there's something that you do, which is you're really passionate about guiding women to go from stress and burnout and depression and really to own their personal power. And I know you've been through your fair share of trauma and challenges, and I guess social conditioning through various stages of our lives. And this is where the Unlearn the Crap and Level Up phrase is coming from, as well as your book entitled that. Kathy, I don't want to ruin your talk by asking you any questions yet, so I'm going to come back and delve deeper, but over to you. I can't wait to hear what you got to share with us today.
Thank you. I cannot believe that we are only 3 weeks away from the summit with Women Thrive. This has been the most amazing experience because the women that come together in collaboration and cooperation where we support each other. I've watched so many women become the best versions of themselves and level up. And I am so excited that we get to share what we've been learning and bring it to this summit. My name is Kathy Baldwin. I consider myself the crap expert. Crap is the excrement that our body needs to release, but it is also the conditioned responses and automatic programming, the societal expectations, the shoulds, and who we're supposed to be. I became an expert in stress and burnout because I believed what I was told. I was told I was too big, I was too loud, I was too smart, that I intimidated people. All of this pressure to be accepted pushed me down, and it broke me from myself. Here, the very things that made me me, the things that really I was proud of. I was proud of my intelligence. I was proud of my curiosity. And yet in this world, I was being told that that was unacceptable. And so I did my very, very best to put on my big girl panties, soldier on, sleep when I'm dead. I learned to ignore my body. I learned to ignore all of the symptoms and the nudging that my body and the universe were giving me. I could push myself past any pace of endurance. I was living life like a long distance endurance runner. And yet I never gave myself grace. I never gave myself time. And I would hear myself saying things like, I'm so empty. I'm so exhausted. When is it my turn? No, I don't need a nap. It's not that kind of tired. I knew it. I could hear it. I could feel it. But yet, the demands of my life, because I was a success, I had a family and a great career. I had so many people that were depending on me, family members, elderly people. And so I pushed and I pushed until I couldn't push anymore. And I had a complete and total nervous breakdown, which was shocking because how did that happen to me? I mean, I was educated, I was smart, I was strong, I could endure, I could do. Man, I would really reward myself for being able to continue to go and be so strong. But that breakdown was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because when I was in a place where everything had been stripped away, there was nothing left in my world but me. And so for the very first time, I had to unlearn the traumas, the stresses, all the things that I had suppressed and pushed down. All of the things that I would say is no big deal. Like I went through that. Sure, that happened. No big deal. And I just would continue going. And so for the very first time in my life, I was able to actually look at that child, that teenager, that woman who had endured so much and honor her. And the hardest thing that I ever had to do was look myself in the eyes and forgive myself for letting myself down. And so my talk is unlearn the crap and level up. Your soul is calling. I know you feel your soul calling, and I want you to hear it, and I want you to understand the language of what your body and your mind and your soul and your intuition are saying to you. Because there is no need to have a complete and total nervous breakdown in order for you to have a breakthrough. You can stop that trajectory in any time, in any place, because we do have the knowledge. We do have everything that we need within us. We just haven't been told how. We have not been given the driver's manual for our body, mind, and soul, or the environment we live in, but it's there. And I am here to share with as many women as possible, because I believe that now is the most important time in our history where women are being challenged and our rights are being challenged. And I believe that we are at the epitome of the patriarchy. And it will be us coming together. It will be our collaboration, our cooperation, our banding together, our having each other's backs that takes us from the disempowerment that our society is in right now, where our societal structures are falling apart, our education, our government, our medical, our financial, every part of our systems are breaking down so that our systems can break through. And every single one of us is a part of that puzzle. And so my talk at the Women Thrive Summit is about how you can unlearn your disempowering crap and how you can cut ties to that and step into the very best version of yourself and level up, because your soul is calling and the world is waiting for you.
Hey, you ladies just killing it today on stage, getting really ready for the Women Thrive Summit in March. When you said 3 weeks, I had to go and double check. I was like, really? Are we 3 weeks away?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right? A year just gone by so quickly, and we nearly here. I'm so excited. This was powerful, really powerful. Your soul is on fire, Kathy. What gives you this fire to ignite others right now?
You know, for so long, I spent so many years people pleasing, self sabotaging, trying to do and be what I thought everyone wanted me to be. And it depleted me and it made me empty and it made me sick. When I came back to myself and I aligned with who I am, with my own purpose, my own passion, my own place in this world, everything just became so clear. Everything just made sense. And I want every single woman, child, man, person to know the feeling of who they truly are and to understand that there are no mistakes in this world. We are not wrong no matter who we are or how we bring to the world. We are a gift. And it is our diversity. It is our uniqueness that is so important in the world. So when you have a purpose that just aligns with who you are, there's just nothing else to do.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I think sometimes it's the hardest thing to be ourselves, your true authentic self. And just by hearing you speak today, I can truly see that you're not trying to live up to anybody else's expectation. You're just speaking your truth. And that's the most powerful thing, when you truly and wholly accept yourself and you become that and unapologetic about who you are. You just speak from your truth, which makes all the difference and connects to people's hearts.
Yeah. And it becomes so much easier because you don't have to try to navigate or figure out the environment you were in and constantly be on alert of where the dangers are and how you're supposed to show up. You just walk in life as yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Kathy, look forward to having you on the summit. This was a great talk, and I can't wait to see what you get ready for the Women Thrive Summit in March.
I am so excited for this. It's been a long time that I've been building towards this happening, and I just love what you're doing here.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kathy. I look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit. And don't forget to connect with Kathy Baldwin on her social media channels. Thank you so much. Wow. We are just through the first half of this showcase. And let me tell you, this has been an absolute fire. I see our speakers being totally fired up, excited, and also delivering some beautiful gems, beautiful reminders about stepping into our purpose, owning our power, having our voice, and just not letting society really define us and really defining our own successes. I want to take a moment as we are halfway through to thank our audience as well for being here and connecting with us. If you're watching this, leave a comment below for our audience, for our speakers. And a quick shout out to the authors of the Women Thrive book. One of the authors will be coming on next, I believe. So this is such a beautiful Women Thrive Volume 4, Inspiring True Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity. And this is something that we do at Women Thrive, which is support authors and women to share their stories. I know many people desire to write books or become authors, and we take you through in a beautiful, beautiful supportive process to get your story out there, because as Kathy said, the world is waiting. You know, your soul is calling for you to step into your true self, into your purpose, into your mission in this life, and don't let anything hold you back. So often we as women, we dim our light, we wait for the right moment, we say, okay, not yet, I'm gonna do this when when this happens. But why wait? And I know there's no perfect moment to have a baby, to release a book, to launch a program, to step into your purpose. Sometimes you just have to do it. And just like Carol said, one step after the other, right? Just one foot in front of the other, and you figure it out. Like, I didn't have all the answers when we even launched Women Thrive. I didn't have a playbook. I didn't have all the answers to how to do this or how to run a summit, because it was something that was put on us to do because of the pandemic, right? And sometimes you have to figure it out. And as you're starting to hear the women on today's stage, I want you to ask yourself, where am I still playing small? Where am I still not stepping into my true purpose, my true potential? And I'm still playing small because society told me to play small, because society told me to stay quiet, because I'm a woman, because of this, because of that. No more excuses. This year is for us as women to step into our true power and become those rebel queens, become those badass that are going to speak our truth, show up in our authenticity, and make an impact, because the world is truly waiting for you to show up, to be your authentic self, and shed that fear. Look, is there going to be judgment? There's always going to be judgment, whether you're going to be yourself or whether you're going to try and be somebody else. But listen, you can't live up to everybody's expectation. As Kathy said, live your authentic truth. You don't need to live up to anybody's else's expectation. Most important thing, that you love yourself. Self-love is the first part of you being accepting of yourself, because so many times we don't even love ourselves, and therefore go down the wrong path of people pleasing and doing all these things that does not make us happy. So let's check in with ourselves and with each other. And if you don't have a community which you're part of that supports you, encourages you, inspires you, and uplifts you, then come and join the Women Thrive Summit, because this is our annual event. It happens once a year. We have more than 50 amazing speakers from all around the world. You're bound to find your cheerleaders, your ladies who are going to support you and see you and encourage you to be a better version of yourself. And I promise you, even attending one talk can be life-changing. You've seen the standard of speakers that we have lined up today, and that's just a small snippet of what we've got on offer for you. The event is free, and I want you to shout from the rooftops for other women to join this community and this movement. Now, another plug, shameless plug, is for our Women Thrive magazine. This is our February edition, and there's a new edition coming out in March, next week. This is available free of charge online on Women Thrive magazine and also in print. And so make sure you're subscribed to receive the special edition of March issue. March issue is very special because we're celebrating Women's History Month, International Women's Day. And I invite you to read magazines, books, watch TV, watch shows, or watch podcasts and interviews with people who are going to inspire you, and think bigger. Think what else is possible, not just consuming all of these unfortunately sometimes depressing news. Right? We need something a bit more positive in our lives, let's face it. All right, I want to move on to our next speaker. Who's ready? You've been an amazing audience, and I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. My next speaker is Heather Hansen. I am so excited to invite Heather. I also got to meet Heather and give her a big hug in Florida a few weeks ago. How are you, Heather?
I'm good. Oh my goodness. Everyone's on fire today. I hope I can measure up to everybody.
No comparison here, my friend.
Speaking their truths.
All you have to be is just be yourself, and you're amazing. First of all, congratulations. How does it feel to be an author and also finally share your beautiful story in a book?
It feels very freeing, to say the least, right? It's been, this story is truly the root cause of what drove my autoimmunity and symptoms and things that I had been chasing and trying to control for so many years of my life. And now I finally written about the root cause of what was driving those symptoms,
Yeah.
even though I spent most of my life running away from it. And now here it is, black and white paper, people are buying it, right? It's a bestseller. So it feels very freeing. The first week I was a little nervous. Now I'm just like, okay, it's out there. Now I can actually talk about it and not worry about it.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. It's empowering. Look, it is your truth, it is your story, and it's here to inspire other people. And I am really excited. Your story is phenomenal. You've gone through some really challenging things in your life, and navigated through it, survived it, and found solutions. And perhaps those solutions are something that could help others. So I want to introduce formally Heather Hanster, who is affectionately known as a gut health paramedic. She's the visionary behind the transformative digestive CPR framework. And as a wellness expert, she's on a mission to empower leaders to conquer the relentless issues of bloating, fatigue, brain fog, and weight gain that medical community often leaves unresolved. And as I said, she is trauma-informed practitioner, so she does work with people who perhaps not even realize that they're carrying more than they should, and it's affecting their health. Now, Heather, I will hand over the mic over to you, and I'll be back at the end to have a chat with you.
Thank you so much. You know, I contemplated today on what I really wanted to talk about, and I think leading after Kathy's talk, she is the perfect example of someone who kept going and kept going and kept going and pushing emotion after emotion after emotion after emotion down, but keeping going, right? Because nothing was going to get in her way of doing what she wanted to do. And I did that for so many years of my life. I did not want to be told that I just had to deal with my symptoms of brain fog and fatigue and bloating and hormonal imbalances, a brain fog that was horrible, and being told that I just had to live with it because that was part of my autoimmunity. I wasn't willing to accept that, and I was going to find another way. And being told in my 20s that that was the best that I was ever going to feel was not good with me. I was going to find a different way of doing that. And so I went through my nursing career, and I wanted things to make sense. And a lot of what I was hearing from the medical community did not make sense to me of why isn't there an answer to help with these solutions? And so I was offered medicines and immunological medications to really help suppress my immune system. But I didn't want to go there because I thought there was something else. So I did a lot of things. I changed my diet. I exercised probably too much, but it was a form of control that I had developed from childhood of just trying to control my emotions. And I didn't let things stop me, right? I had goals and desires, and I needed to prove to myself and to others that I was worth something and that I could accomplish things. So I put so much on my plate, more than anyone should ever put on their plate. And I would keep going, keep going, keep going, keep shoving down. And all of the work that I did, from changing my diet and taking wheat out of my diet and taking dairy out of my diet, they did make a big difference. And they made a big difference for a period of time. And then after I started noticing that that was making a big difference for me, I took it to a next level and changed my career into nutrition and started teaching my patients how to eat and exercise. And then I was more interested in the people that were not getting well. There might have been this 5% over here that they weren't having all the amazing changes that all these other people were. So I changed my career into diving a little bit deeper into the gut health, into the immune system, and I was going to practice what I was preaching, and it was making a difference. But I will tell you that one of the biggest differences in reversing my autoimmunity was actually writing a letter to my parents, probably about 17 years ago. And in that letter, I told them everything that I needed to tell them. And if you buy the Women Thrive Volume 4 book, you're going to read a piece of my story, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I didn't know it at the time, But 10 years after writing that letter and looking back, I realized that was one of the biggest healing pieces of my life, is that I unloaded some of that shame and guilt that I was carrying, some of the anger that I was carrying. Now, it wasn't all gone. I can promise you that, because it was just a little piece. Those words left and they never came back. I felt so good for so long, but I still had that pattern of shoving things down and keeping going and not letting things bother me, probably absorbing things that other people were telling me, overdoing for others and taking care of them so that I would feel good about myself. Even though so many people kept telling me, Heather, you need to be a human being, not a human doing. What are you doing? Why are you working so hard? And so some of my symptoms started to come back about 48 years old. And there was a lot of stress, a lot of stress. But what I've come to learn over the period of time is that if you don't deal with the old emotions, if you don't deal with the old trauma and you just stuff it down, eventually you're full to here, and it's going to come and it's going to manifest, and it is going to feel hard and challenging, and your body is going to have symptoms and brain fog, fatigue, weight gain, just bloating that you can't get rid of, sleep problems. And it's your body's way of telling you something is wrong and something needs to change, that you need to slow down and listen to your body and identify, what are you actually thinking now? So my talk, uncovering the hidden layers of fatigue and bloating, and really looking at trauma and limiting beliefs, those are the real things, our brain and what our brain is telling us, that keeps us stuck. So I would really love for you to attend my talk, and all these other amazing women. This community is like family, and it's been the thing that I've been looking for so long. I'll see you soon.
Heather. Oh my goodness. Hold on. What am I doing? Pressing too many different buttons. I love it. You're a human being, not a human doing. And sometimes we really need to just offload it. We're carrying so much. And when I think about your story, only because I intimately got to know it and understand where you come from, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to imagine what you've been through as a child and the kind of conditioning you have had to instill within yourself just as a survival mechanism. And therefore, all of those things just started to affect your health. I just want to say you're absolutely amazing to still be here and to be the kind of human being that you are, who's super positive, supportive of others, and able to navigate still many different life challenges that you do today.
Oh, thank you. You know, what's interesting is my husband was one of the last people to read. Actually, he didn't even read it until after it was published, my story. And the one thing he told me is that it was painful for him to read. And that was it. And he's usually a big talker. So for him to be silenced was pretty interesting. But when I told him, I said, I'm okay that all those things happened, because for some reason, those things were supposed to happen to create the person that I am, so that I can help people on a deeper level. And yeah, it was awful that I had to go through it, but reading my story will really show you how it's not what happened to you. That doesn't define who you are. You can choose. You can make choices. And choosing a life that you want, there'll still be hardships, right? And there's still going to be crap that comes at you, and you're still going to have to deal with it. But when you actually work through those root problems, it is so freeing. And you can actually be who you are meant to be authentically.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of you and just in awe of your tenacity and just it's a true testament of how strong women truly are, right? Of the things that we can face and yet come back absolutely fighting and warrior as we are. So congratulations, Heather. You're absolutely amazing. How do people connect with you?
So you can find me on my website at flourishnutritionaltherapy.com, on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook under Heather Hansen.
Amazing. We really look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit. You'll catch Heather's talk on Wednesday, which is Health and Wellness Day, and make sure you do connect with her and grab yourself Volume 4 of the Women Thrive book and leave a review. It's an absolutely amazing story that Heather has shared in the book. Honestly, haven't had the opportunity to get to know our speakers on a much deeper personal level the last year. It's just been outstanding. And just as Heather was speaking, I was like, I can't believe it's been a year. I can't believe we're coming to an end of our nearly a journey together. But actually, we're coming to the culmination of this beautiful journey, the celebration, the final summit, the final showcase that is going to be happening third week of March. And I invite you to be there to witness our women on stage, witness their stories, witness their greatness, and celebrate. Part of being in this moment in time right now, Women's History Month, and take the step in your own transformation, because I think we can all learn something from each other and grow a little bit taller through this process. Right, my next speaker, who I have had a pleasure of seeing and witnessing grow and flourish further, and even just last night I've sent her a message, you an absolute rock star. I loved seeing her journey and just how much she has grown as well since the first time I met her. My next speaker is Amy Saunders, who is a serial entrepreneur and master certified business and mindset coach. Welcome to the 𝐯𝐬, Amy. Welcome. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to see you. And I love the color. It looks amazing.
We're going a little bit colorful popping today.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I saw your photos yesterday from our photo shoot in Miami. And I was like, woohoo.
Thank you. It's so fun to get on. But
I was like, she came to slay. This woman is not messing about. And it just really shows how, like, we're phenomenal. And knowing again your story as well, you've also been part of the Women Thrive book and shared your story. Just incredible things that you have had to go through in your life as well and overcome. So I won't spoil your talk, Amy, but Amy has really overcome many traumatic events in her life that shaped her into who she is today. And that includes, actually, I won't go into detail because I'll let you share your story. But today she helps others to really master their businesses and their greatness, find their greatness, build a life that feels good on the outside and on the inside, creating financial freedom and success on your own terms. So that's what Amy does. She is business and personal development coach who will be able to guide you through your own life challenges and into your dream life. Amy, over to you. I'll come back at the end and pick up where you were left off.
Perfect. Thank you. So like I said, I've had a lot of challenges in my life. I've gone through a lot of things that have sculpted who I am today, including a sister committing suicide when I was only 10 years old, which really, fractured my family. And that also paved the way, like the way I was raised, also paved the way to an unhealthy marriage. Ended up as a broke single mom, and I was broke in my marriage. And I was like, how do you become even more broke? But I did. And basically not really able to recognize who I was in the mirror anymore. I was like, who is this person? This is not what I thought my life was going to be. And so I had to get really serious and think, okay, the only person that can really be blamed is myself. It's me. What can I do to change my stars and change the life for my kids? Because at the time I had 3 little kids, and they were the ages 4, 5, and 8 when I had finally walked away from my first marriage. And so from there, I started picking myself up and totally rebuilding my life. And I've become super passionate about showing other women how to step into your power if it's been lost. And if it hasn't been lost, but you know that you're holding back a little bit, to step even deeper into your power. And at the summit, I'm going to go into, I call it the AAA method, becoming a magnet for everything that you want, because you ultimately can. And that's what my quick little talk today is going to be about, is I'm going to give you little tips and tricks of what the 3 A's are and how you can show up in that power and start to heal some of the blocks that are happening. I know in coaching, we talk a lot about blocks, but that's because they're important. And so the very first A of the AAA is awareness. Becoming aware is where everything starts. Really looking at the steps that took you to where you are today. And ultimately, you can't really shift what you're not aware of. But when you become aware and you become hyper aware of the blocks that are holding you back, that's where you can make that lasting change. And the good news is blocks are just thoughts that you've decided to believe. So honestly, if you choose it, you can literally let go of the belief right now today and be like, I'm not doing that anymore, and make a change. Sometimes you have to do a little more deeper work, and that's okay. But the good news is that everything that you have been taught up until this point, you can change it, you can accept it, you can let go of it. The choice is yours. And so when it comes to business, because I do help a lot of women with their businesses, a lot of the common blocks that I hear all the time are people won't pay high ticket prices for me, or I have to hustle 24/7 to succeed. Another one I hear a lot is I don't have a big enough audience to sign clients. All those are just beliefs you've decided to believe, right? So you can let go of those right now. What if you were to just shift a little bit and ask yourself, what beliefs am I holding on to that's keeping me stuck in this struggle mode? Because that's ultimately what it is. We do not have to struggle. We a lot of times unconsciously choose it, but we can change our reality by starting to shift to that belief system. And it doesn't have to be hard. That's the good news. We really can just start doing the work. So number 2 is alignment, where you step into your power. With the book, if you read my chapter, I talk a lot about people pleasing, because I'm like an awesome people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser is what I call myself. But I was really good at saying yes to everybody else at the expense of myself, which is a form of self-betrayal. And so when you understand that every time you do that, you come even more out of alignment with yourself and your true being, then you can again start to shift that. A quote that I heard that I absolutely love, I don't even know who said it, but it was, your energy introduces you before you even say a word. Your energy introduces you before you even say a word. So if you've identified your blocks, it's now time to realign that energy, your mindset, and your strategy. And when it comes to alignment, I like to always think of things like in analogies, like the car. If your car is out of alignment, you are going to be steering and it's going to want to pull against you, which means it's creating friction. It's creating a lot of that resistance. But if you let the car take you, you're going to end up way off track. So it's important to get your car realigned. The same goes with yourself. And the good news is your inner being already knows who you are and what you're meant for. It's just a matter of tapping into her, who she truly is, so that she can attract everything that she wants. So all of it's positive. It's awesome. It's great news. When it comes to business or client attraction, which I work with women on, the mindset shift, gosh, I was saying that too fast. It could be, I need clients, shifted to, I am a magnet for the right clients for me. Feels very different, right? When it comes to your messaging, you're showing up powerfully and you're clearly communicating your value to your perfect client. When it comes to strategy, you focus on attraction marketing and looking for ways that you solve people's problems, not really forcing the sales, but hey, I'm good at this and I can help you. Very different. So the shift here would be, ask yourself, how can I embody the version of me who already is signing clients on repeat, who already has a magnetizing business? That's just a quick shift that you can do. And that leads me to my third one, which is abundance. When you go through all 3 A's, abundance is just going to happen for you. When you shift from scarcity to abundance and you think about all of the things that you're blessed with, and then you think about all of the things that you appreciate, your entire life and your entire business transforms. And this is what happened to me. I was in the depths of despair. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to make those changes. And so as I did, everything started turning around for me. I now cannot believe the life that I live. And I used to play dumb and I wouldn't talk about it much, but I'm like, no, I need to talk about it because everybody can. I live in the most beautiful home. I live in an upscale neighborhood. I go on trips and vacations all the time. These are things that I used to only dream about. I never thought they could be possible for me. And they're my reality. And I tell you this, not out of bragging, but out of you can too. You can step into your power and you can start to attract anything that you want in life. You don't have to go out and find clients. That feels heavy and sticky. You can decide that clients are already looking for you and they are finding you. Your energy determines how people see you. So how do you want people to see you? And when you feel abundant, you attract abundance. It's because just like that car analogy, you're now attracting at a higher level. You're vibing at that alignment that is perfect for you. And so that's what I'm going to dive in even deeper when it comes to the talk at the summit. But ultimately, that is what I want for you, is to tap into your 3 A's so you become what I call a triple A attractor, and you start to create the life and business that you know is on your heart that is not quite realized yet. I want you to realize it because everything is possible. And yeah, we're going to go into more on the summit. So that's what I have for today.
Amy, beautiful. I love this. Just shifting your mindset, and a lot can change. Just yesterday on our group call, you shared a phenomenal win. Don't know if you want to share it or not, but there was a message that I took away from it.
Yeah. So even though I'm a business coach and I have created multiple successful businesses, I still have a dance studio. I still have a lot of other things that I do on top of my coaching business. And so when money would come in all those other ways, I'd almost discount it. But what I was doing within my coaching business is I always do like a AAA attractor journal is what I call it. And I write down, like my money goals, all the different goals and things that I have. But to be honest, I wasn't aligned with the price of the monthly income that I wanted. I was like, I thought it was kind of, what would I say? Easy to achieve, or I wasn't stretching myself. And so I decided, no, I'm playing small here. And I know that I'm good at what I do. And I know that I help change lives. And I've seen it in all of my clients' lives and businesses. I'm worth this. And so I totally increased my pricing. Like I actually doubled it. And when I doubled it, I ended up signing I had my very first 5-figure day. And it was only like 2 weeks after I had just did that shift. I was like, if I'm telling my clients to do this, why am I not doing this? And so I did it. And really, I liken it to like, that was amazing. Yes. But really it taught me my own lesson that I preach. Like we have to charge what we're worth because the alignment for me wasn't there. And things started like flowing even more effortlessly when I decided, no, this is what this is. And since then I've had, I think I've signed like 5 clients in the last few days, all of them just like, and it's like, yeah, that's because I am aligned with my pricing now. That feels good to me. Yeah. And so even when it comes to you guys and your pricing and everything you're doing, charge what you're worth. If that feels out of alignment, then we have some money blocks we got to work on, but that can change everything. You're worth it. You're worth whatever your heart desires. Go after it, do it. And I'm here to cheer you on.
I love that. Love that. What stood out for me when we asked you yesterday, just what was the shift? And I've been thinking about it today. You said, I've moved from being grateful to being appreciative. I was
like, talk about that. Yes. Okay.
That's beautiful.
So another massive shift that I did, so I talked about that just barely, but another massive shift I did is I decided that I want to be in the energy of yes. Everything I do is in the energy of yes. And it's positive. It's a high vibration. It's excitement. And appreciation is a higher vibe than even grateful. Because grateful still has some form of lack attached to it. Like I'm grateful for this because maybe I haven't had it before or I haven't had it in the past. Appreciation is it just is. It's like, I appreciate everything I have. I appreciate my business. I appreciate my partner. I appreciate, it's just like so much more positive. So yes, that is the yes. That's the
Yeah. Yeah. Carol was like, being grateful to be appreciated. I've been marinating on that all day too.
I love it. Yay. Yay.
That's when you know you're hitting a note as a speaker, when someone walks away from something you shared. I mean, this was just in our weekly call conversation, really. And people walk away with something to ponder in their mind. And honestly, this was been on my mind today. Like, just that subtle shift. I almost wrote a post because that's how significant I think small change in the word and our perspective of it can have massive results.
Yeah.
Amy, where people can connect with you and stalk you if they wanted to.
Yeah. The best is just my Instagram probably, which is Coach Amy Sanders. It's really easy. And my website's the same. It's amysanders.co. So those are the two best places. And if you go to my website, you get a free, like the pop-up is like a free money magnet PDF where you can start to tune into like attracting more.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amy. I can't wait to see you at the Women Thrive Summit.
Thank you.
Woof, that was fire. If you're not taking notes, not only you just have to start making notes, but you're probably going to have to go back to the replay and watch it all over again. Honestly, so many beautiful gems, and I think Amy just came and just dropped it on us without even expecting. I was like, oh my god, that just kept coming. Okay, my next speaker, she is wonderful, and I love her story. Something that she does that is quite unique that I find in the coaching space that not many people talk about, and that is about supporting our spouses through their trauma. My next speaker is Danielle Sebastian, who is a speaker, life coach, and the founder of Wife Care, a program dedicated to providing no-fluff survival tips for wives navigating difficult relationships with childhood trauma survivors. Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Hey, Ray. I'm so glad to be here. I can't believe I'm following Amy. That was amazing.
We got to also hug in person 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, I know. I just can't believe what this year has brought, Ray. And, you know, being able to meet so many people of these speakers that were on the call today in person. They're even better in person, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you, Danielle. It's been a joy to just hang out for a few days.
Yes.
Even our team member Joe was like, yay, Danielle, that's a Thrive Star TV star.
I know. Are you going to put in a plug?
Absolutely. I was just looking at the stats, and your TV show on Women Thrive TV is doing really well on YouTube. I've been seeing hundreds of views actually for your show. Tell us a little bit about the show that you have streaming on the Women Thrive TV on a weekly basis.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. It's called Love and Trauma, The Real Deal. And it's all about me having guests where we just talk about love and trauma and how it impacts relationships, and then real things that you can do to make more connection in your relationships. So
yeah, it's been really amazing. You got some lovely guests on there, and you talk about just real life stuff. Danielle, I can't wait to hear your talk. What you're going to share with us today, and I'll be back at the end.
Oh, I know. Okay, ladies, how many of you have your life mostly together? You're killing it at work, running your household like a boss, juggling all the things like a pro, everything except for your relationship. Yeah, I see it. So everything looks great on paper until you get home and realize that your relationship feels like you're walking through a landmine. It feels like you just take one wrong move and boom, another argument, another cold shoulder, another moment where you're left wondering what the heck just happened. Does this sound familiar? I get it because I lived it. I married someone who carried deep, invisible scars from childhood trauma. And let me tell you, I had no clue how much that pain would creep into every single piece of our relationship. I had no idea how much of the tension, the distance, the straight up chaos that I was living in every day, it had nothing to do with me. And it had everything to do with these wounds that were buried long before I even came into the picture. And here's what nobody tells you. I didn't know that trauma survivors develop coping mechanisms that literally help them survive. It was imperative that they had them to survive their childhoods. Things like holding people at arm's length, trying to control everything around them just to feel secure, withdrawing emotionally the second that things get uncomfortable, and trusting no one because the people that they should have been able to trust let them down. These survival techniques work for them back then, but let me hit you with the hard truth. What helps someone survive trauma often doesn't work that great in intimate adult relationships. And this is the light bulb moment that changed my entire life. I figured out that when childhood trauma runs the show, their reactions, the anger, the distance, the shutting down, have everything to do with their pain and nothing to do with our actions. I just didn't know that. And then I found out after I was learning more about this that a lot of couples don't. So I was trying all the cookie cutter advice for relationships, finding out our love languages, going on date nights, taking 30-second breaks when we were in conflict. And none of it was working. Our marriage ended up hitting rock bottom. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen table, packed up my 3-year-old son, and I drove 5 hours to my parents' house, totally convinced that our relationship was over. But then everything changed. Only when our relationship had hit rock bottom was my husband able to open up about a terrible childhood trauma at the hands of the church. And for the first time, it was like those moments that didn't make any sense. Everything started to click. And that was just the beginning of an 8-year journey. Believe me, it was long, it was messy, and it was a real journey of learning, healing, and figuring out how to stop just surviving and start thriving together. And now I want to share all those hard lessons that I learned with you. So at the summit, my talk is going to be healing trauma together with your spouse. No BS, just progress. I'm going to give you real actionable tools that ended up help saving my marriage. It's no fluff, no sugarcoating, just the real deal. You're going to learn why typical relationship advice often doesn't work for trauma-impacted couples, how to recognize trauma-driven behaviors for what they really are, how to let yourself go of the guilt and the blame and the shame that may be coming your way, and then how to show up in ways to protect your peace so that you can build a stronger and healthier connection. I want to make one thing very clear. You can't fix their past, but what you can do is you can stop taking the behaviors and the reactions personally and start showing up in ways that protect your peace. And it's not about fixing your partner. This is all about reclaiming your joy, your peace, and learning how to move forward together. I cannot wait.
Oh, thank you, Danielle. Just listening to you, or just the things that you have had to navigate, but also supporting others now to navigate their triggers. And relationships can be complex. And look, we bring two very different people into a pot, and we expect that just to be the perfect mix, right? And then over time, just all the ingredients starting to come together, and it doesn't always just work. And I think without the awareness, that's where things start to fall apart. And kudos to you for sticking with your husband, saying, you know what, we're going to work it out. It's worth working on it. And I recognize that it is just trauma.
Yeah, I just knew deep down that the things that I was seeing, the behaviors that were coming at me, that wasn't who he really was. I just had this feeling there was something else that was going on. And as long as I could see things getting better, that we were able to work on things, I was willing to stick it out, because trauma, it makes me angry what these people and what this trauma is. And I just don't want the bad guys to keep winning and taking away what relationships and what people really deserve.
Yeah, yeah. And look, we all carry some kind of childhood experiences that shape us who we are. And sometimes without self awareness, we just don't know where we're going wrong. So, what are we going to be covering at the Women Thrive Summit?
Yeah, I'm going to literally give you the relationship advice that I was looking for when I first figured this out. And I wish that somebody would have been able to give me, because man, it wouldn't have taken me 8 years if I would have learned some of these things right from the beginning.
Amazing, amazing. Where can people connect with you right now?
Well, if you are really resonated with some of the behaviors that I was talking about, you should get on my Instagram. So Danielle Sebastian _ wife care, because I get really real in there about what it feels like on a day-to-day basis if you are in the midst of this. So definitely that. And then all my resources are on my website. Very easy, daniellesebastian.com.
Amazing, nice and easy. Well, make sure you go ahead and grab yourself the resources Danielle had just mentioned, and we look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit in March, Danielle.
Yay, thank you. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you. You're amazing. Love seeing you here. Wow. We've got a few more speakers, so don't go anywhere. We've got just two more speakers, I think. It's been an amazing day. I don't want this to end. This is the last final showcase before our summit, and I'm not ready for this to end. But look, we've got so much more greatness coming to you in March. So the third week of March, which would usually be a showcase, is our actual entire summit. So entire week, you get to come and hang out with us virtually and live and meet all of these amazing speakers. So today is just a tiny teaser of what you can expect. Okay, my next lovely speaker, who I am so excited to invite to today's showcase, is Felicia Keller, who is author, speaker, sales professional, and creator of Balling and Bipolar podcast and Inspiring Bipolar Success and Life Coach. Hi, Felicia, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. So happy to be here.
Well, you're nearly at the end, but certainly not least, raising awareness about bipolar. I mean, how important is that? I know people just don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, I think that's a big caveat to everything is there's a lot of shame, I think, around it, or embarrassment around it. And not only bipolar, but mental health and illness in and of itself. And I think the more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes for a lot of people. So
Yeah, you're amazing. Well, I won't spoil your talk because I know you got something prepared for us, but we certainly look forward to hear more from you. So over to you.
for sure. Thank you so much. So I always want to ask these two questions before I ever get started in talking about my story, because everybody has their own story, right? It's really, I think life is about who do you want to be, or what do you want to bring to the table that is your life, And I think those questions you might not be ready for yet, because we might still be struggling with trauma, past challenges, personal issues going on. And I think there's always steps and stages to be able to ask those questions later. So I want you to write those questions down, and kind of my talk is going to be very much about goal setting and all that, but really it's truly about what we need to do now. What is the hurdle in front of you now for maybe keeping you from being able to ask that question effectively, And because my story is, of course, about bipolar and that diagnosis, but what actually happened was I lost my sense of self. Like that, it was a very simple, it wasn't even about bipolar. It was about losing who I was. I didn't know how to be me anymore. And I think so many people can struggle with something like that, where we have lost our pride. We've lost our sense of self and worth. We don't know who we are anymore, or we don't feel independent. And so I think that alone can be translated to so many different people. And the first thing that we need to do is understand how to be grateful for what we do have, because I didn't have gratitude for years, and I was mad at the world for my diagnosis. I didn't understand why it happened to me, why me, why me, and what does that do? it just creates anger. It creates resentment around everybody around you. And so what I found that was very helpful was kind of coming up with a framework of how to not only get stable, but be okay, whether that's struggling with challenges, internal things, maybe that's trauma, maybe that's things that have happened personally, but how can we be okay every day? Then how can we change our mindset and belief system so that it's all about perception? Because once I had a moment, you all, where it was, why not me? It wasn't why me? Why did this happen to me? It was, there are people that struggle everywhere. Why not me? This was just the card that I was dealt. And now I've got to play this hand the best way I know how. And so it was just a mindset shift is all it was. And that opened the door. And then I started focusing on myself and what brought me back, which was things that made me feel independent, going to the gym, starting meditation and gratitude prayer practices, what filled my cup up. You know what I mean? I love making people feel good and making people laugh. So it's just about, how do I feel okay? Daily routine, how you perceive the world matters so much. It's how we look at things. You know, there's a quote that was like, is it a glass half full or a glass half empty? And the guy was like, I'm just thankful that I have a cup. That's what it's like. It's like, just be thankful that we're here today and let's play the game as best as we know how. And then we get better and better as we go. And so my talk is going to be a lot of around that. And I'm going to have a workbook that you all can download so that you can just make it your own. I don't want to sit and preach to you all. I want you to truly make it your own so that you can understand, who do you want to be? What are our goals and what are our 12-month goals, 5-year goals and all that kind of stuff. But like, not before first understanding, what do we need to heal from first? You know, it's really about heal, rebuild, and let's go thrive. So that's what I want to bring to the audience. And I'm so excited about it.
Yes. Felicia, that's amazing. Like, just be grateful. Look, it does really start with the mindset shift, because sometimes we can play that victim, but look, no matter what cards you have been dealt with in life, there are blessings. You've been dealt some of the blessings. And if you know how to, or if you're able to navigate through it, you might just recognize that it's not a punishment. It's actually a blessing, because you see things differently, because you process things differently, you function differently, and let that be your gift, as opposed to something that is a shortcoming, right?
Something that happened to you. Yeah, exactly. It's so true.
Yeah, amazing. Felicia, how do people connect with you?
Yeah, you all can follow me on Instagram if you want to. I do a lot of content there. You can find my podcast on there as well. It's Ballin' and Bipolar, of course, like Ramonda said. But you can, Instagram is easy. You know, it's Felicia_Ballin' and Bipolar 01. You can reach out. You can ask me any questions that you have. I have a lot of free stuff you can download as well. So there would be.
So just very, very quickly before we move on to our next speaker, what's that work that you do with people when they reach out, when you get more into personal work with people?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a big piece is zooming out and zooming in. You know, it's like, what is your day-to-day like right now? What are the good habits? What are the not so good habits? You know, diet, sleep, exercise. I mean, there's so many things about daily routine and things that we could be doing negatively to influence or positively to influence the way that we're living. But it's also zooming out to understand the background, the history. What's your methodology? What are limiting beliefs you've been told when you were a kid? And then finding out, who do you really want to be? Like, what are your bigger dreams and goals? What do you enjoy doing? And then kind of reverse engineering the path. You know, I hope that makes sense.
No, I think it's important, because there are so many ways to approach it. So it really sheds a bit more light on, how does the work with you really evolve?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for asking.
Amazing. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit, and I'm sure your talk is going to be shedding more light on the subject itself.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited about it.
Good to see you. Thank you, Felicia. Look forward to seeing you at the summit. Wow, so much diversity in the room today. We've got amazing lineup of these incredible speakers who are here sharing their heart, sharing their gifts, sharing their magic with you. And if you feel inspired, connected, reach out, right? Their DMs, their social media channels are open for you. Reach out, have a chat, check out their social media and websites, and be a little bit of a stalker. Okay, my next speaker, who I've also had the great pleasure of meeting in person, and she is absolutely as wonderful in person as she is on screen. We call her at Women Thrive a bit of an angel who helps women and also men with working through trauma. Cassandra Love Lambert is an author, a best-selling author, and a visionary behind 𝐶 Love. She's a trauma-trained somatic transformational coach, a TV host, and an artist. Hello, Cassandra. Welcome to our stage.
Yay. Hi, thank you for having me today.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all kinds of things. I don't even know how many speakers have been here, are just like so good. Everyone has so much wisdom to offer. And it's just synchronicity, right? It's like we all kind of are on the same path with like our wisdom that we share and help people with, and how it's all connected. Like taking care of yourself, your past trauma, your emotional baggage, how that impacts relationships, how that impacts your body, how that impacts everything. I just love how each woman has a little nugget of wisdom to add to everyone's life. And I just love being a part of this community.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, you're the last speaker of the last showcase, Cassandra.
Pressure, so much pressure.
No pressure.
All right.
I will do a shameless plug for you because
Yes.
you just released your best-selling Into the Light book, Becoming My Own Hero.
Yes.
This book is not only just beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, a book that you cannot put down.
Yes.
I don't want to say for good and the bad reasons, but this book certainly is a very, very personal account of your life and the trauma and the difficulties that you faced. And I just want to give you your celebration and kudos for going as deep as you did, because it's probably the hardest thing to speak our truth, especially for the things that you have gone through and experienced. So first of all, congratulations. One more time to our listeners, make sure you grab a copy of the Women Thrive book. Sorry.
We'll grab that one too. Grab that one too.
Right. Let me grab a photo. I need a picture of us holding this book up. Look, this book is phenomenal, and I want you to grab a copy, okay, before this showcase is over. Cassandra, I'll let you take on the mic, and I will be back in the end to close you out.
All right. Thank you so much, Raymanda. I want to start today off with some information that landed for me today quite hard, actually, and it kind of ties into what Heather was sharing, and also Danielle, and it just everyone has little nuggets that all come together. But did you know that every time you and your partner or spouse fight or argue, you become immunocompromised and inflamed for 3 to 4 hours? That means that if you are having arguments multiple times a day, you are constantly inflamed. And did you also know that if you are unable to safely express your feelings, they will stay trapped in your body for up to 7 years? And this can cause symptoms of muscle tension and pain, so those headaches, digestive issues and leaky gut, appetite changes, fatigue and sleep issues, thyroid issues, which also can compromise your weight, like not being able to get weight off, or not being able to get weight on, depending on how your appetite goes. And this can also contribute to autoimmune disease. So Emotionally unsafe relationships will not only make you sad, right? Because they don't feel good, but they will also keep you sick. And yet, as women, oftentimes, and men too, we can end up in relationships like this with high conflict, no resolution ever for any of the situations. They're toxic and unhealthy, and they keep us stuck in survival mode. And what does that do? That keeps us stuck in hypervigilance, right? And we're constantly having that cortisol pump into our body. And when you're in this mind frame of being in survival mode, you're not living life, right? You're surviving life because you're also in reaction all the time, right? And that means you're not being responsive. And that means you're not actually operating day to day from true choice. You're operating day to day based on like your default programming from childhood of just surviving, right? Whatever those coping strategies are that Danielle was talking about. And sometimes those coping strategies aren't going to serve you where you're trying to go, right? And I want to let you know that this isn't because you don't know better. And it's not because you're unworthy. And it's not because you're not smart. Because these relationships never start off that way, right? They slowly morph into this. It's kind of like that metaphor with the frog. I know you guys have heard it, where like you throw a frog into a boiling hot of water. It's like, whoo, I'm out of here, right? Instant, like I'm out of here. But if you stick a frog in a pot of lukewarm water and little by little, you turn up the dial, hotter, 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 by the time it registers that it's boiling water, it doesn't have the energy to jump out of the pot. And this is how those type of relationships begin. They don't show up punching you in the face, right? They show up, amazing, or, at least emotionally kind of connected. You don't instantly see someone being abusive or manipulative, right? And then little by little, an invalidation here, an invalidation there, yelling at you here, calling you a name here. And pretty soon you're just tolerating things you never even thought you would tolerate, right? And I've been in one of these before. I've been in a few. It's actually a really hard pattern to break, especially if you've had trauma in your childhood. Maybe you were in an abusive family, maybe abuse happened, but like that has become familiar and safe to your brain, whereas healthy registers to the brain as unsafe because it's unfamiliar, right? So there's like this crisscross going on in your nervous system and brain because of childhood. So I want to say with this, it's not your fault, right? It's not your fault. And the way that they're treating you, like they might also have come from trauma, as Danielle is speaking, right? And they might have their own things they need to work with. However, it's time for you to honor you, right? Whether you've been in this type of relationship in the past, whether you're kind of in one right now and you don't want people to know, or whether you just got out of one, it's time to reclaim your crown, and get these 3 keys that I'm going to share at the summit to reclaim your power because you deserve it. There's so much at stake here because you have a purpose. And these things that you're dealing with will become part of your message so you can help others. And so you owe it to yourself and you owe it to all those people you're meant to serve, to take care of yourself in this way. And I'm here to support you in that and help to support you in getting back in your queenship. And I'm inviting you to come join us at the summit. Moms and future moms, come reclaim your crown and get the 3 keys to regain your power and stop the cycles.
Thank you. Thank you so much for shedding so much light on it. Whew. Those stats just kind of reminded me of the moments that was affecting my life, right? And in the ways which we don't even realize how much just being in a wrong relationship, in turbulent relationship, can also hurt us, not only just emotionally, but also physically, and create a big impact in our lives. And I certainly know that. And I know you've gone through your fair share of challenges in your life, to speak from experience on this.
Yeah, it's a really hard, and so I say this with compassion. It's a really hard pattern to break, right? Especially if like you tend to be more of like an anxious attacher. It's like you're drawn towards like the more avoidant and emotionally unavailable person, and it just becomes this living hell that they play out together. And it doesn't serve you, and it will make you sick, and it will dim your light, right?
Yeah. Cassandra, even just your name, love, it feels like it needs a light with it as well, because you certainly bring a lot of light into people's lives through doing healing work. What does it working with you look like at the moment?
Yeah, I walk women through my 10-week pain into power process, where we go through 5 stages. The first stage is really, kind of getting you balanced out and realizing where your point A is, and really getting you more centered and grounded. Because a lot of people will come to me and they're kind of dysregulated. And so we get them on a daily practice with daily devotions. I give them a sacred toolbox so that they have all these things that they can use that are more supportive than the old coping strategies they might have been using that aren't supporting them. And then my favorite part of the program really is going over soul-aligned boundaries, because to me, that's the key of self-love. And then we move more into, getting into like the belief systems, the core and the limiting ones, as well as, helping them get out of hydraulics, where they have the experience of putting a lot of effort. They have their foot on the gas, but they're not going anywhere because they have a foot on the brake pedal at the same time. So they're kind of just in their life going like this in the hydraulics. And so, yes, this is the 10-week experience, and we go really deep and we do somatic work. So we work with the nervous system, the body, the organs, and really help you release those things you've been carrying in your body.
Yeah, amazing. I really applaud you for doing what you do. Cassandra, you are our last speaker. Congratulations. And thank you for closing us out. You were actually a co-host on one of these shows before with me, which was kind of on the spot decision.
Yes, and we wore crowns. You put your gems on your face. I put my tiara on. It was so fun.
Yeah, look, most times when you see Cassandra, you'll see her with glitter and beautiful crystals. Actually, in fact, I have one of her crystal sets as well. So you like to really bling out and create that experience. So what can we expect at the summit?
I will be bringing the 3 keys, and I'm not just going to tell you about them. I'm going to walk you through an experience, because I think that's super important for you to actually feel a shift in your own body, because you can't just take my word for it or anybody's word for it. I want you to experience it for yourself.
Yeah. Amazing. Cassandra, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit, and make sure you connect with Cassandra at C_love_Lambert and grab yourself a book. Take a screenshot, grab yourself a copy, leave a review on Amazon. Absolute amazing book. I could not put it down, and I can't wait to read it all over again. My love, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Raymonda. Thank you. You're an angel too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So this wraps up the final showcase, not for the year, but for this amazing group of women who joining us at the Women Thrive Summit in March. Now, this is our annual Women Empowerment event that hosts more than 50 amazing speakers from all around the world on various subjects, from business, personal growth, healing, confidence, health and wellness, business success, mindset, and other areas of business and life that is going to be transformational. All you need to do is head over to womenthrivasummit.com, register for your free spot. We have free tickets, we have paid tickets if you wanted to have more immersive experience with our speakers. And of course, what an amazing opportunity to make new connections, grow in yourself and your business, and just have an experience, because it is going to be Women's History Month. And I think what a wonderful way to celebrate. It doesn't matter where you're joining us from. You can tap in from anywhere in the world. As long as you have Wi-Fi connection and a device, you can come and join us. Thank you to all of our speakers today and in the past showcases. It's been an amazing pleasure and an honor to host so many amazing women on our stage. And thank you for their support, because this is what helps us create these outstanding events, their content, their messages, their courage to speak their truth. As well, if you want to grab yourself a copy of the Women Thrive magazine, we have our print magazine and also digital copies. You can get a free copy online, as well as a subscription. So in March, we have a special edition of the Women Thrive magazine. Make sure you have yourself a copy. They're absolutely beautiful, and your support means that we can continue doing the work that we do at Women Thrive, which is empowering women to really stand out, shine brighter, speak their truth, and have a platform where women can be supported, be united, and make a difference in this world. Thanks to all of our team who help us make this event and all production happen. They are absolutely amazing, and I'm super proud of everyone who are part of this incredible production. And from me to you, thank you so much for dedicating your time to be here with you. My name is Ramonda Jan. I am the founder of Women Thrive Media, and it has been an honor and pleasure to host this event. Congratulations to all of our speakers, and we look forward to seeing you at the Women Thrive Summit 2025, third week of March. Take care for now. Bye-bye.